My employer doesn't have workers' compensation insurance. What are my options? Here in New York State, when you get injured on the job and find out your employer does not have workers' compensation insurance, you have two options: sue them or file a workers' compensation claim, which will ultimately be handled by the Uninsured Employers Fund. Suing your employer will potentially get you much more in damages, but will likely take a lot longer and be a lot more difficult. Filing a claim through the Workers' Compensation Board is generally easier and will get you compensated more quickly, but it will likely result in less overall compensation. There's also sometimes a third option, which I'll discuss in a moment. Filing a workers' compensation claim to be handled by the Uninsured Employers Fund is the most common option injured workers take when their employers don't have insurance. This is a fund that was specifically created by the state to help injured workers get workers' compensation benefits when their employers don't have insurance. But since there is no insurance company, it's managed by the New York State Workers' Compensation Board through the Uninsured Employers Fund. The fund does all the same things an insurance company will do when handling a workers' compensation claim. They investigate your injury, they go to trial, and they pay your benefits. Once they approve your claim, they then have their talented lawyers go after your uninsured employer in court to reimburse the fund, and the cycle continues. So what's the downside? Unfortunately, the process is slow. Not as slow as a lawsuit, but slower than a typical workers' compensation claim. Why is this? Because the Workers' Compensation Board is required by law to treat every case as though it's being disputed. So even if your case is obviously a legitimate workers' compensation claim, they can't just say, okay, we accept your case. They have to fight every single one, which means every step of the way has to go before a workers' compensation judge, and that just takes time. As a result, I often get frustrated workers with these uninsured employer cases coming into my office looking to drop their attorney. They don't understand why their case is taking so long and feel like their attorney isn't doing anything. But if you got hurt and your employer was uninsured, chances are your attorney is doing everything they can to help you. They're just unable to make the process go any faster. So if you're in this situation, try to have patience and give your lawyer the benefit of the doubt. Speaking of lawyers, I am currently accepting new clients. My name is Rex Sokovsky, and I became a New York workers' comp lawyer 17 years ago after getting injured on the job. And if you're looking for a lawyer to help you with your claim for New York State workers' compensation benefits, please give me a call at 212-406-8989 to schedule a free consultation. So, what can you do to make sure you win your uninsured employer case and you get the benefits that you deserve? Well, 3 words. Evidence, evidence, evidence. Remember, the board has to litigate your case as though it's being disputed, so you'll want to collect evidence on all aspects of your claim, including medical records, any photographs or videos, witness statements, and communications with your employer. And in the case of an uninsured employer, you're especially going to need strong evidence proving that you work for them. Why? Because employers who don't have insurance are often devious and will say anything they can to get out of responsibility, including denying that you work for them in the first place. We've had employers tell us, I don't know who this guy is. I've never seen him a day in my life. And then I go to my evidence and break out photographs of my clients doing work, not only in their place of business, but sometimes in their home as well. So collect all of the proof that you can that you work for this company, especially if they paid you in cash under the table. Some examples of employment evidence may include pay stubs, the envelopes that you received your cash payments in, bank account history showing regular deposits, tax returns, an employee uniform such as a t-shirt or a hat, your employer's private phone number, or any text correspondence between you and your employer. Also, any and all witnesses who can confirm that you work there. It's not enough to just get a lawyer and expect them to do all of this for you. If your employer was uninsured and you want to get the workers' compensation benefits that you're entitled to through the Uninsured Employers Fund, then you need to take an active role in your case. And that means providing your lawyer with the ammunition they need to get you your benefits approved. I always tell my clients that your case is a gun, and I can only shoot with the bullets that you give me, so get me that evidence. Now, maybe you're thinking, you know what, I'm not going through workers' comp, I'm going to sue their ass. This is one of the rare circumstances where you could actually hire a lawyer and file a personal injury lawsuit against your employer. And because it's not a workers' compensation case, you can sue them for things like punitive damages and pain and suffering, which can get you a lot more money. The reason why most injured workers don't choose this option is because it can take years before you get any money from it, and most people simply can't wait that long to get paid. It also comes with a higher burden of proof, which makes filing a lawsuit a more risky course of action. However, there is a third option that may be an option for you: settling with your employer. He might reach out to you and offer to settle your case, because if he doesn't, the state is going to come after him with a big heavy fine. So if you don't require significant invasive surgery or treatment, you might want to consider this an option, because it will provide you with quick, easy money. Whichever option you decide to pursue, the one big question remains: how much is your case worth? You'll need to know the value of your case in order to get all the benefits that you're entitled to. So be sure to watch my other video explaining how to do exactly that. I'll include a link here. Click to watch it now, and I'll see you there.